Hey there, comic compadres. This is Mark with Chico's Comics, and today we're going to be talking about 5 DC books worth hunting for. For joining today, comic compadres. I took a couple of weeks off. Unfortunately, both of my kids were pretty sick, but thank you for joining me back today for my first part one of a DC hunt list that I've been chiseling away at. Given the recent news with the DCU, James Gunn joining the team, and kind of seeing how the DC future has been panning out, I've been pretty excited over the last couple of months, and I've kind of shifted some of my comic hunting and collecting to some different DC books. I'm going to go through 5 for this video today. If you guys like the content, please give us a like on our video. Comment on what DC books you're also on the hunt for, or something you've recently acquired, and also give us a share and subscribe. The first book I did want to talk about today is going to be a book that is just such a beautiful cover here. I'm going to be talking about the Saga of Swamp Thing issue 37. This is from February of 1985. I currently had this come back from CGC, 9.4 white pages. I bought this book raw at a great deal. Was happy to see it get that 9.4. Excellent book. This is an Alan Moore story here. And so the current FMV at a CGC 9.8. The 2021 average was looking closer to about $2,371. The 2022 average is down now to $1,865 with a 90-day average of $1,697. The more recent sale for a CGC 9.8 direct edition was $1,260. So like a ton of other books going on in the market right now, this one is correcting, but we have had multiple confirmations of the Constantine sequel happening with both Keanu Reeves, the leading actor, as well as Francis Lawrence, the director from the original Constantine movie, which I loved. That was just a fantastic movie. I thought Keanu as Constantine was perfect casting. The actor who plays Lucifer, I can't remember his name, but that's got to be some of the best Lucifer casting in a movie ever. I'm excited to see where this goes, and I actually hope that they are looking to bring in Keanu for a long-term goal here. You know, I think a Justice League Dark movie has been in the pipeline for some years now, on and off. That would be a great star power to bring into the Justice League Dark. When I'm thinking Constantine, Keanu's the guy who comes to mind. Matt Ryan, who did the Constantine interpretation on the CW shows, I thought was great. I believe also he's done some voice acting on the animated DC universe, but this is a book that I have been looking for. I'm actually looking to upgrade here either to a 9.6 or a 9.8 if I can swing it. But, something to keep in mind if you're looking for that, nice Copper Age hunt here. The second book I'm going to be talking about was something that also got shaken up with the Discovery acquisition of Warner Brothers. The Green Lantern show was in the works. It was going to be focusing on Alan Scott and Guy Gardner, but they had just come out with a press release a couple of weeks ago saying they're shifting focus to John Stewart. When I'm thinking Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, of course, Alan Scott, but John Stewart has really added a defining characteristic to the Green Lantern mythology as a whole, coming about in 1972. Of course, this is a great Neil Adams cover, Dennis O'Neill's story here. I have a CGC 9.0, which the 2021 average was about $1,228. The 2022 average was $959, with the 90-day average at $866, but the most recent sale was $950. So this one has been correcting, and then we're starting to see now another uptick with all of the DC news and with that announcement. I actually used to own a CGC 8.5 of this, and right before that announcement, perfect timing, I saw the opportunity to buy a 9.0. And so what I did is within 24 hours, I was actually able to sell my 8.5 on Instagrails or Grails Comics, whatever they're being called now on Instagram. A great consigner on Instagram for your graded comics. So I sold mine within the same day of also buying this. So pretty much I was able to upgrade my copy for just the shipping fees. Everything that's going on in the market right now, I think this is a great opportunity for buyers and collectors. So if you're looking to upgrade certain books in your collection, you gotta work quick. I'd actually seen another 8.5 pop up for I think $100 more than I was asking for on Elite Comics, and I don't think that one sold, but mine sold within I think 14 hours, and I was able to just put that money down onto this big boy. I would love to see some Jon Stewart casting news, but let's kind of let this one simmer a bit, and hopefully we'll get some news soon. Okay, the next book I am looking at here is none other than Batman Adventures issue 12. I have the direct issue here, old CGC slab, so I'm actually thinking about sending this in for a reholder. I don't think it'll get the 9.8. I see one color breaking tick over here, but of course this is the first comic appearance of Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was in the Suicide Squad movies. Margot Robbie played a great version of this character. James Gunn coming into this DCU, I'm not too sure if he's going to be also doing more with the Suicide Squad, but I'm excited to see that interpretation return. But I'm mostly excited to see the Lady Gaga interpretation with the Joker 2 movie, Madness for Two. I thought Joaquin Phoenix just absolutely killed that role. It was such a different take on what a typical, superhero related movie might look like. And so to give you some information on what this book has been doing at a CGC 9.8, not a 9.6, but a 9.8, the 2021 average was $3,343. 2022 average is $2,973. The 90-day average is $2,739 with the most recent sale at $2,700. So this book is correcting. I would say that's not a pretty hard correction, kind of a mild dip. Of course, we're talking about $600 from that 2021 high, but that comic boom was just insane. But this is a book I think to definitely be on the hunt for. I think you're going to be wanting to hold this at a 9.8 if you can swing it, but to be honest, anything over a 9.4 or 9.6, that's great. I'll be holding on to this. I'll probably reholder it and look for that buying opportunity to sell this copy and put that money down on a 9.8. Okay, so the next book I'm looking at, which I have not bought yet, but I'm on the hunt for, is going to be House of Secrets 92. This is, of course, the first appearance of Swamp Thing. I talked about Constantine, and I am really, really staying optimistic for a Justice League Dark movie. I think this would add such a great twist, bringing some of the horror elements into the DCU, and also showcase some of these great anti-heroes, heroes on the screen. We have Swamp Thing, Etrigan, Constantine, of course, Satana. There's a giant catalog of characters that have swapped in and out of the Justice League Dark, and I would love to see this movie to the big screen. Guillermo del Toro was initially attached to do this, I think, about a decade ago. I'm trying to think of his name. Abrams from the Star Wars movies and that stuff was also attached. I think he's also fallen through. But to talk a little bit of numbers about this one, in the CGC 7.0, which I think is worth the investment on this book for the long run, the 2021 average, $2,100. The 2022 average, $2,300. The 90-day average, $23.25. With that most recent sale, it also $23.25. This is the one book on my list today that's actually trending upward from that 2021 comic boom. I'm specking on this solely because of the potential for the Justice League Dark movie. Okay, so the last book that I had hunted for successfully, and this one is just an absolute grail of mine. Even outside of the DC universe and the movie spec, I just needed to add this book to my collection. Batman is just one of my favorite characters. I had a lot of love for Spider-Man, the X-Men, but Batman is just top tier in my book. And so I had to continue to add his Rogues Gallery to my collection, and I found no better book than to buy Batman issue 121, featuring the first appearance of Mr. Zero, aka Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze. And this is actually one of the few big Batman villains that was first introduced in the Silver Age. You know, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, Catwoman, Scarecrow, Penguin, Hugo Strange, Joker, all of these big same tier Batman villains came out in the Golden Age, later reintroduced in the Silver Age, but this is one of the few big Batman villains that actually had their introduction in the Silver Age. I had to do a lot of selling and a lot of saving of my collection to acquire this bad boy, and I couldn't be happier. I actually bought this one from ChicosComics. Great guy. He worked one-on-one with me. We did a partial trade, partial cash on this book, and I really appreciate just how smooth of a transaction he did on that one. So to talk numbers on Batman 121, this was a Bill Finger story, Sheldon Moldoff art. This one is actually also trending up from 2021, so I did misspeak about the House of Secrets 92. So the 2021 average for a CGC 3.0, which is the most common slabbed, $1,772 in 2021. In 2022, $2,164 was the average. 90-day average, $2,921, with the most recent sale at $2,921. I had to get the 4.5. I think, the highest grade you can go in these kind of, early Silver Age books, the better. This one is just absolutely beautiful. It presents so well. The colors on here are excellent. No chipping really. Mild stain on the front cover. I think what really just hold this book back is we have a giant color-breaking crease straight down this book. But it really doesn't affect it in my opinion, and I just love this book. Outside of this just being a huge Silver Age DC grail, one of the things I'm hopefully specking on is that he actually comes not to the James Gunn universe for DC, but for the Matt Reeves universe. I think this character, we got to see the Arnold Schwarzenegger interpretation. That was definitely campy, but I think this would be great potential to see a grounded version of this character. With the Heart of Ice storyline, I think that really just adds so many layers of nuance and complexity to this character as a whole. And I would love to see that interpreted in kind of that grounded, gritty Gotham that Matt Reeves curated for us in that Batman movie, which was just fantastic. He did kind of tease it a little bit, but I think he's got so much, potential. And of course, he did tease the Joker in that movie. And I'm not too sure what he's going to do. It would be also kind of cool to see his interpretation, a little bit more outside of the realm of reality with what James Gunn has done. Mr. Freeze had also been a part of the Suicide Squad for a time. But generally, I think this is always Batman 121 always going to be a safe Silver Age investment. This book, even in 2017, 2018, before the big comic boom from the pandemic, was continuing to trend upward. So, I think if you're trying to look at some books for some long-term investment, this is a fairly rare book. It doesn't come up for sale too often. So if you're going to be hunting, I would still say any grade is going to be a great pickup. The 3.0 is the most common slab. So if you want to get over that 50th percentile, look for a 3.5, 4.0, 4.5 in my case. Well, Comic Compadres, thank you for joining our part 1 of DC books to be on a hunt for. Marvel's had a very strong run, but I'm excited to see what DC has coming on across their media over the next decade or so. So hopefully some of our books from DC continue to increase in value. Let me know what you're picking up, what you're collecting. Sound off in the comments. And thank you for joining Comic Compadres. Look for part 2 coming out shortly.